Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. This is Steve, coming live from Arizona. And if you've been joining me in this series, up to tutorial number 5 so far. I know it's not a true tutorial in the sense, since it's basically showing you some of the tips I've learned in game design. But I think it's just kind of a start, you know, for somebody who's interested in kind of building upon a game. I've seen a lot of them on YouTube for Unity where they show you step by step from the ground up how to build. I guess I'm taking a different approach because, I mean, those are great tutorials and I've seen a lot of great people, you know, share their ideas and everything, but I don't really see anybody like try to show somebody like I have a game in progress and here's some tips to kind of move you along. That's kind of what this series is about, and also it's a strong focus on Blender for those who are really interested in building their own models. We're going to keep that up. Probably show you maybe some of that stuff here tonight or today, but let's get started here without further ado. I'm just going to go over here. You may have noticed a lot of changes that have actually happened since the last video. Notice here I've got windows now. I'll show you how to make these windows and stuff, and I've actually expanded the lab. You remember the staircase, that was the last video, and the staircase works. You can go up and down it now, and I added these just the other day. These are just what do they call these things again? Tank vessels, and they're just for part of my factory there. You can kind of jump on them. You can't really climb them or anything yet, and I just kind of moved some of the stuff around, added another tank vessel. And this is the big one here. I added another big building, kind of like an Empire States building kind of thing there. And I don't know what else I can really show you, but I'll just kind of show you inside the lab. So let's just get this game, you know, this game design tutorial started. I'm just going to open this. It's going to take a moment to load. Different changes. Oh, and I also changed the FPS player. He can look up and down now, and I changed his height. So I'll show you that in a minute. I have to turn off the statistics window too. You can just click this and turn off the stats. There goes the sound. I guess the city sound's not playing. Oh well, at least you can hear him walking, I guess. If I turn it up, you can hear him walking a little bit. You can hear the gun when I click the screen there. So check out the inside of it. I really love the way it looks on the inside. Thought it came out really, really good. And I found this on YouTube. A guy showed it. I was originally trying to design these windows, and you know, and the transparency in Blender, and that was a disaster. So then I found this video on YouTube, and this guy's like, all you have to do is change the transparency factor, or whatever he showed it. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. For now, I just wanted to show you. Like I said, I can look down and I can look all the way up. I could not do that before. I can roll all the way up and down. That's what's really cool about that FPS I just downloaded there. But it's really hard to walk around if you can't see up and down. So I'm going to show you the upstairs I added. I think I added some new objects here. I'm going to try to make the lab a little higher too. Desk over here. I added a light source there. Oops, got stuck. Also, if you go over here, you can start the mission by clicking and walking into the sky here, and you'll see a message there. It stays on the screen because I didn't clear it out, so it'll be here the entire time. You see it says there's a worldwide shortage of a. Oh, actually, it did disappear. Okay, I forgot I fixed that. Alright, anyways, just talking about the game, there's a shortage supply, and you have to kind of reiterate again, I don't know if you guys can see it way up there in the background there. There's a mountain way up here on top here, a gigantic mountain, and there's an alien civilization that landed there after the zombie apocalypse took over. So they're part of the mystery, or the what do you say, they're part of the plot. So I don't want to give that away, but they're part of the plot, and the game's going to end on this mountain. Essentially, that's my goal. But for now, I want to get it working, of course. So I'm just going to go back down here. Oh, actually, I was going to show you the windows. Let me just do that first. Oh, before we do that, let me just show you around, and we'll just come back to that. Just try to stay consistent with everything here. So I like you can kind of look down now. Couldn't look down before. I couldn't even walk down the stairs. I'd always walk off them because I couldn't see them. I need to fix this wood panel too. It did something really weird with the shader there. That's not looking bad, I guess. And the crates now, you couldn't walk in them before. I mean, you could walk through them before, but now you can't walk through them. So I put some gliders on those. And you can jump up here. He's going to jump way in here, so got that super jump enabled. So now he's on top of the tank. And you also can't walk through this bar here, so there's a glider there. There's a glider on the ladder in the walkway here. I'm eventually going to have these walkways walking all over the place here so you can kind of walk around. That's one of my goals. And over here, you're going to be able to enter this building later. I know it looks kind of ugly right now, so excuse that. Still working on the shaders on that and the textures. But I just used my regular glass building, and I added one here at the top. So I clicked on a window here, and we're going to go over to the inspector. Oh, I forgot I froze it. Let's do that again. So, the windows are cube. It's just a regular cube you add. And let's do it from the ground up here. We'll just start with the new cube. And you just go to Game Object, 3D Object, Cube. And we're just going to change the size of it. Click this little 4-dimensional arrow here. Change the size. This typical window. So we're going to scoot this one out of the way for a second, and I'm going to show you something a little bit with the other one here for a minute. So click back on this and pay attention over here to my inspector pane. And the essential idea here is it's all about the coloring on your window, really. So I went in and I created a material for window here. And as I said, it's all about everything down here. Here it is. The rendering mode is set to transparent. Now if I change this back to opaque, you'll see it goes black. Cut out, doesn't do anything. Actually, cut out does work. Okay, and then just fade. I don't know what that one, kind of like a weird, like a dimming of the window. And you got transparent. And of course, this is the smoothness of the window. You can see it changing a little bit there. Okay. So it looks kind of bad. I kind of like it halfway like that, so you can kind of like see through the little lines. And all these lines here, it's just basically a texture. Actually, wait. Oh, you have to set the normal map. So actually, here it is. I was looking all over, but there it is. So it's the tile 001 texture 2D. It might also be on the asset store. You can look over there. So don't waste a lot of time with that. I just wanted to show you. That's the tile that creates those lines you're seeing in the background there to give it, you know, like the wind. Oh, I just now realized why it was lighter. I had I had the isolation set. I didn't even realize that was going on. So let's go back to the other one. I thought the colors were acting kind of weird there. So if you go up here and you type in, you saw me type in cube there, it isolates everything just to that particular game object. So I guess we'll call this window. This is how you create your materials. You just go down here. You saw me. You can also go over here and click this little button right above the, what was that, the project window, and you just select material there, and it'll create a material. It'll do it. You just go and click on it like I did, and you can change it. I just called mine window. And over here is where you change all the settings for it. So we're going to set the normal map, and we're going to use that tile. Find it. Right there. That's it right there. So now we got our tile in there so we can get the little lines going. And we could just change the color here to something else just to test it out for now. You can see the demonstration, what it's going to look like over here, the example picture. You can also change the metallic on it, get the darkness, the smoothness. You could even make it metallic if you wanted to, but we're not going to do that for now. We just want to add this material to our cube 17 right here. So it's going to drag it over. Yeah, it's applied. Now you can see it's applied to the window. Can't see through it because we haven't changed the transparency on it, but you see the material that's down here now, and I can go in and edit it, and you just change this to transparent. Now you can see a little bit through it. All we're basically doing is we're just changing the color settings. So here's what this guy showed me. You click on this one, and this down here, you change this bottom section down here. I don't know what he called this, but this controls how far you can see through it. So if you drop this all the way down, you can see through it more. So I just leave it down like that, so you can see through it better. And then you just change the, play with the settings until you get something you can kind of see through. Okay, finally, you can see it's kind of blurry, you can't see through it, so we're going to have to go back in and change some of the settings again. Play with some of these maybe. I think this one makes it dimmer, more fog. And then this one right here separates the white, so you have to play with both of these. I just set this one like at a lighter. Probably just leave it at white or something. And then this one set to black. Anyway, I forgot to do. I need to go over and copy the RGB on this one. I'll be here playing forever trying to figure out what these RGB values. So you can just go here. If you didn't see that, I just went here and I clicked on the window inside of the inspector. Once you clicked on the object, and you just click on the albedo, whatever, right here, and you can click on this and it'll bring up the color dialog box. So you just go down here where it says hex color and you want to copy this, and then you're going to go back over here, and if you guessed it, you're going to be pasting that in right into the same place and erasing this one, so we can get a duplicate, because I cannot figure out which colors you use in there. So we're getting really close to what we were there. We could probably play with that one, but that's basically how I did it. And then there we go. Now you can kind of see through it a little bit there. It took me the longest time to play with the color settings to get it where I wanted it to look, because you see it still doesn't look right there, and that still looks kind of funny versus that one. It looks kind of like a window, but it looks like it's kind of like dark outside or something. But anyways, going back to the other one, you just copy the other RGB values for that one. This hex color, these are the RGB, red, green, blue values. And paste them in there. So we'll get a duplicate of the other one. They get pasted. You can tell if it reverted back or what it did here. It's behaving very badly. Okay, and I got this turned all the way down. I forgot to turn that down. Of course I forgot to turn that down. What's the difference between this one and this one? Real-time, transparent, real-time UVO. Transparent, real-time UVO. There you go. So you have to move this metallic out of the way. Now you can kind of see it's kind of like a green window. So you could literally go in here and you could change it any color. You want to leave this metallic down. That's pretty much how I did it before. Orange window, and so on. So there's how you create the window. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. But you can now create your own windows in Unity, and you see what it looks like on the outside here. Kind of compare them. This one looks like a dusty, dirty one. Although this is still my favorite because it's just got that lab color, that greenish color to it. And I think that one I like the best. It looks so much better, you know? Look at it from this view. You can see how it looks. I'm a drone peeking in your windows. So yeah, it looks kind of cool, I think. So I guess I was going to also, before I skipped over, last time we left off on this, so I might as well just continue back on this and show you how I got the ability to walk up these stairs, but I never did really show you this. So we're going to activate this again. And I can't click on it. Okay. And get the name of this game object. What is the name of it? I'm trying to click on the whole thing here and it's not letting me. Anyways, I know it's staircase. There it is. Now that we isolated it, we can go in and we can look at the meshes here. So that's what I was doing last time. I was showing you the meshes. So you want to apply the meshes, as I mentioned in the other video, to each specific game object. Notice these are all different game objects. This is a game object. 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 And so on. These are all game objects. And for those who are just watching this video for the first time, let me pull it up for you. I think I had it in its own folder. I can't get anything to click here. Blender's crashed on me or something. Beware of Windows 10. Seems to eat the resources. And I do not have the graphics card to keep. Okay, so getting back here. As we scroll through these are each of the game objects that you saw in Blender there earlier. All these individually, these are the game objects. And Blender, I didn't rename them or anything, so they're just called Cube. It's probably bad, just name them Cube, but I know. But anyways, we clicked on this, and if you look over here, you'll see Mesh Collider. You see I clicked on that, that shows you the surrounding right now. That's showing me the surrounding collider there, just so you can see it's actually there. You just set up mesh colliders on each of these. So when you, as soon as you create the Blender object or the FBX, and you drag it to your hierarchy from here, you're going to essentially, if you watch the other video, you're going to add the meshes to each of these. So I'll just show you. I just clicked on this one, and this is Q.002, and I have a mesh collider. So I'll just show you if I go here and I just remove component, and I think it's out of there. Yep. Double check to make sure it's gone. Okay, I'm just going to run it for a second to demonstrate what happens when you don't have a mesh collider, and I just realized I got to walk all the way back upstairs. And by the way, there's the chalkboard right there I created. And there's the computer and the monitor I created. No biggie. Sorry, I would show you that. So we're going to walk up here. And we should fall through this. Or do we have the collider on? Yep, I just fell through it. So see, I'm now walking through it. Hope he doesn't get stuck. He got stuck. So, okay, now it let me out. So apparently, where am I? I went up the stairs. Okay, so if I go here, I should be able to walk right through it. It shouldn't let me. There it is. See how it's not before it would stop me there. Now there's no collider for it, so I can't walk on it anymore. I can't go up here and get to the stairs because there's no collider for it. Now we'll turn it back on. I'll show you how I added it. So once again, we're going to select the object, and this is my little landway or walkway, whatever you want to call it. And you just go up here to Component, Physics, Mesh Collider, and you'll see it appear over here. And as soon as you did, you saw a surrounder on it. And you can also click this to see that it's there to kind of test it. But if you set this convex, it's okay, I think, for this one. But if you eventually set it for certain objects, like the stairs, I believe it'll turn it into a box or something like that. But Blender is set up, and most 3D tools are set up to surround the meshes. So if you create like an entire house and you use these mesh colliders, you need to be smart enough to surround the mesh so you can actually walk through the meshes, and I mentioned that before. But anyways, just to demonstrate real quick here, we'll now be able to walk back up it again. You might also know I added textures to these. I don't know if I had these on last time. I added textures to the railings there. And I'll demonstrate this. You'll see I can't walk through this now, where before you saw me I walked all the way up to the staircase. Now I can easily walk back up the stairs. And there I go. La-dee-dee-da. And I'm up. So that's basically how the mesh colliders work. I'm not going to show every one of them, but you just basically add them for each of the objects there. You have to add it for this one, this one, this one. Every single object that you create in Blender has to be added. And then you just kind of just line up everything to get it where you want it. I had to sit there and spend time lining up these stairs because if you don't line it up right, then you're not going to be able to reach the upper stairway. But anyways, that could be another video. But essentially, everything's looking good here. I think I'm going to get rid of this wall here too. I seem to get stuck on this wall sometimes, like that. And I need to put a mesh collider on this. I could show you right now. We'll just put a mesh collider on that. There's really not a whole lot more to show you in this video, so I'm like, okay, what else could I really show you? But I'm always trying to get a video out once a week, even if it's not a whole lot of stuff. Something's better than nothing, I guess, right? Up through the ceiling here. And there's my light I was talking about earlier. Now we're just going to click on the mesh, or the game object, the Blender object, and I know it's called, what's the name of it? Not desk, workbench, work table, that's it. And which one is it? It's that one right there. Now we isolated it, and we're going to go in and we're going to add our meshes to each of these. You can see that one's already selected there. The only thing Unity doesn't tell you is which one of these is selected, so you have to kind of know from building your model object. So I marked these and tried to name these specifically. Makes sense enough. Tabletop first, high rise. That's supposed to be, I don't know why I left that high rise in here, but that's supposed to be this one right here. I'm pretty sure this is the one. And then you can just basically go in and you can add the meshes to each of these. You can also add it down here. You don't always have to do it there. You go down the bottom, you can add component down here, and you can type mesh. Now bring up mesh collider, and it'll still add it there for you. Right there. Let's see what it added. So it surrounded it. Okay, that was it. And then the middle one, and then we got this one on the end, of course. Oops. It's right there. So I think it's called tabletop in. I think that's it. So it should be that one right there. And then we'll add the mesh collider. That should be on that one. We won't add it to the middle because we're technically not going to reach the middle because the chair's in the way anyway. But later I think I'll add physics to the chairs and everything so you can kind of knock them over and do silly stuff with them. Now for the chair you actually have to add them individually again because each of these is a separate object or a mesh. Once again, you can go back and you can test it. Just clicking on it. Well, I don't know what happened there. We won't do the seat. We'll do the bottom here, right there. I should do the legs too. Oh, we have to do all of them, I just now realized. They're all separate objects, so we have to do them separately. Okay, I think that's good. I wanted to do the center section just in case we end up walking through it. Right there. Alright, so we'll save this again. I'm just gonna pause here a second. Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna go test our chair. Why did I go over here? Oh, that's right, because I need it. It's upstairs. My bad. Now we should be able to walk through the desk. See, I can't walk through it this time. Can't walk through here. I shouldn't be able to walk through the chair either. Realize I need to make that chair larger. Nope, can't walk through it. So now we got a mesh collider surrounding it. You can see how you can set up the physics in your game for that. As I mentioned earlier, these are the graphics I created in Blender. This video's gotten so long, I wanted to do another model here. I'm running out of time. I spent all that time playing with that window. But anyways, we could go on and add our next object. I hate to make this an hour-long video. We could just use this one for meshes only. I'm going to take a shortcut here and jump out the window. Just to kill some more time, I'll go over here and show you the objects I created over here. You saw these last time, I didn't introduce them now. I created these weird looking traffic lights here. They got, like, you can see them in both directions there, so that they kind of line up with the streets and everything. If you look on the street here, you'll see there's two different cross paths for the street there. One going to the right and one going straight ahead. So I set the light up so that it's kind of focused on the street. I need to make them bigger too. So player's like almost the size of a street light. I'm going to see if I did anything else over here. I don't think I did. Our man's still walking around there. I guess to kill the less... Oh, I can show you these textures on these buildings back here. There's a zombie walking around. So these are textures. I added more textures to these buildings. And I also added newer buildings. You probably don't notice, but there's newer ones back here. And then this is a new texture to this one. They all should have their own textures now, so they look a little bit better. I need to fix that one still. It's pretty dark over on this side. I get stuck here again. These are really bumped. I need to at least add something to this to show you, because I haven't done any blendering here. So we'll just kind of add to this object here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the point there, and we want to keep this in object mode. you can click Object and Edit down here, and we're going to add another cube and create another walkway here. I'll see if I can do this really quick. Go down here and you change the scaling. So you see we have kind of like another walkway there. Make it as big as you want it. It's not going to be part of the game, I just wanted to show you. It's not touching it, need to move it up. You can also change, press the numpad keys, press 1, you get that view. Press 3, you get that view. Right view. You can kind of line it up here. Essentially you want to line this up as close as you can to the stairs so it looks pretty good and you can get up and down it. And then you could actually go in here, you've seen this before, but you could add a new staircase instantly. Let's say we had one and we wanted to go this direction. So we're going to set our point. We're going to make sure this is object mode, and we're going to, what I'm doing here, by the way, I don't have my keys on it, just now realized that. I don't have time to set that up right now. So I'm clicking on Shift A to bring up our add menu. A as an atom. And then we're going to set another cube. I forgot, it used to be right there. And I have to do this, it's almost at the 1 hour mark. I'm really rushing as quickly as I can here. Probably not going to make it. When we go down here, we're going to change the scale for this one. So we can make the staircase like that. Good enough for now, I guess. Doesn't really matter. It's probably a pretty large staircase too. And then remember, we're going to add those modifiers over here. So we go over here to this panel here on the right. And we're going to click on this one that says Add Modifier. If you're clicked off, you can just click on it again like that. And you just click here under Generate, you're going to select Array. And instantly it puts the staircase right behind it. It already created a second copy of the original. And you see these blue, this tells you the direction. We're going to switch this back to regular, what do they call that, view or whatever. And we're going to basically make the staircase go, yeah, I think I'll do this time. I think I'll make it go down. Let's just say we want to go back down. Let's see if we can do that. So these are the X, Y, and Z. Remember the RGB X, Y, Z. Red is X. See, red, green is Y, and blue is Z. So essentially, by knowing that, it'll tell you which direction you need to change. So what we want to do is we want to move the blue down, which will be the Z. And remember, this relative offset is where you want to control that right here. You'll see it going down as I'm clicking on it there. And it almost lined up perfectly. Oh no, it's backwards. So we also need to shift it over now. So we're going to change the X direction, and it's the one at the top here. We're going to move it over like that. And we'll put the side view back on so you can kind of see it. Oh, I did click on it. There we go. So you can kind of see it better here. So oh, I didn't change it. Oh, there it is. So that would take it down there, and then you can move it up now with the Z. Get it lined up. We'll have to move it over a little bit more like that, and you see how it's going down. Now we have to do, oops, I pressed 0. You're just going to make it go down by changing, and we go up here, we can click the count here, and this will actually send it down however far you want it. You can go on forever if you really want it. See, now we got a staircase going down. And you could set the directions too. Remember, you just change the axis by clicking on whatever direction it's pointing in. If you look at the side view here, you'll see the up and down is a Z. So if you change that, it'll tilt it. See how it moved it up? Now you can kind of tilt it down. And you kind of see it's going down. So that's all I wanted to show you for that video. But that's how easily you can go ahead and you could add your own staircases. You could set tons and tons of staircases here. It's very simple. anything you duplicate here, you can just duplicate it. So if I create a box here, and let's just say I wanted to create a bunch of boxes, or not boxes, let's actually do this. Let's go to, whoops, I didn't mean to go to render mode. Let's go to Shift A real quickly here, and we'll add, make sure it's selected there. We're going to add a cylinder, move it up here, and you could do the same thing with cylinders. You could duplicate them just by adding modifier. Anytime you add a new object, you have to add a modifier for it. So see how I instantly added a new modifier. So if I wanted to create a railing here, I could just size this down and create a railing just by moving it along its coordinate. And if I click these, it's going to create more, just like usual. And of course, if you go backward, it'll do the other direction. You can also move these over and add a few more in. And you see how it's kind of spacing them over now, because that's on the X direction. And then we can of course scale them down real quickly there to create our little poles. Now all we have to do is split them apart. I showed this before, I just wanted to show you again. Make them skinnier. You can also go in here and type in values too if you wanted to type in 10. Type in 10 and it spaces out 10, which is too many. Let's try 7. 7's pretty good. And then you could just set like a railing on top of this and so forth. So I said that's all I wanted to show you in this example. I'm just going to save this as another example. So I hope this was pretty helpful to you guys. I know there wasn't a lot to cover in this session, but like I said, I'm going to try to keep videos each week and keep the game moving along. So please like and subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this, and if you learned anything, let me know. And yeah, so I enjoyed sharing this with you. And this is Steve Morrow signing off. Have a good day.